juga punya informasi menarik, 8 laga eksklusif hanya ditayangkan di video. Tidak ada di tempat lain, jadi download dan langganan video. Sekarang juga jangan kemana-mana karena Pesta Bola akan kembali setelah pesan-pesan berikut ini.
Yang gak jadi di rumah, ketemu di salon aja ya.
Ganti tujuan. We got you. Gojek ada fitur ganti tujuan.
Yang gak jadi di rumah, ketemu di salon aja ya.
Ganti tujuan. We got you. Gojek ada fitur ganti tujuan.
Yang gak jadi di rumah, ketemu di salon aja ya.
Ganti tujuan. We got you. Gojek ada fitur ganti tujuan. Ganti oh udah.
Saksikan Pesta Bola 2022 bersama Le Mineral, sponsor resmi siaran Pesta Bola 2022. Pemain bola butuh mineral. Kita yang nonton juga butuh mineral. Hayo, cukupi mineral sehari-hari dengan Le Mineral. Sponsor resmi siaran Pesta Bola 2022.
Saya sanggup, saya Bi, saya juga. Kita dari apa?
Kofta aja.
Lebih hebat. GoFood. Tak ada yang lebih hebat di GoFood.
Bangkit untuk latihan atau latihan untuk bangkit? Milih nggak tanding atau tanding nggak milih? Laki berani beda. Laga bola dunia Extra Joss.
Nonton terus! Main terus! Teleponan terus! Nonton terus!
Seru terus dengan paket internet dari Telkomsel prabayar. Berlimpah kuota buat nonton, nge-games, teleponan, sampai ngonten terus-terusan. Aktifkan paketnya hanya di My Telkomsel.
Hanya teh pucuk harum dari pucuk teh pilihan. Bikin lewat hausku, makan terus jadi seru. Makan pucuk harum bikin ngumpul makin asik.
Teh pucuk harum, pucuk teh terbaik, bikin segar di mana aja.
Wow, Teh Pucuk Harum Soccer Edition. Wah, dapat segernya, dapat serunya. Let's get Teh Pucuk Harum Soccer Edition.
Ada sebuah cerita tentang mereka yang bangkit dari keterpurukan, melawan keterbatasan, merajut karya untuk berdaya bersama, membuka jalan kemudahan dan rasa percaya akan masa depan. Di tengah tantangan, mereka suarakan harapan, bergerak untuk perubahan. IndiHome, aktivitas tanpa batas.
Perjuangan belum berakhir. Kita punya segalanya untuk mengubah jalannya perjuangan ini. Kita memiliki kemauan, keinginan untuk menjadi lebih baik. Cinta dan inspirasi. Saat kita bersatu demi keberlanjutan, kita bisa memenangkan perjuangan ini. Kita punya Anda dan yang lainnya. Goal of the Century.
Oke, masih di Pesta Bola Dunia 2022. Kali ini saya mau ngomongin soal Ecuador, UK.
Ya.
Menarik kalau ngomongin soal Ecuador. Pertama kali dalam sejarah Piala Dunia, gol pertama pada pertandingan pertama diciptakan dari titik putih penalti. Kemudian Ecuador menjadi tim pertama dalam sejarah Piala Dunia yang mengalahkan tuan rumah di laga perdana. Dan kalau kita bicara rekor itu, ada nama seorang Ener Valencia. Ini top skor sepanjang masanya Ecuador ya, dengan 37 gol.
Iya, tidak muda lagi, 33 tahun dari Fenerbahce, dan memang penampilannya di musim ini bersama Fenerbahce sangat luar biasa timnya. Dari 12 game sampai 13 gol. Artinya memang dia dalam top perform yang sangat bisa diharapkan bagi Ecuador.
Oke, itu artinya Virgil van Dijk, kemudian back saingan UK, Matthijs de Ligt ya, dan juga Nathan Ake ini harus hati-hati nih dengan pemain yang bermain di klub Fenerbahce ini.
Iya, di samping harus mewaspadai Ener Valencia juga harus mewaspadai banyak pemain-pemain muda yang
ada Gonzalo Plata ya, pemain asal Valladolid,
Caicedo, kemudian Estupinan, pemain-pemain dari Liga Inggris yang mereka tentu punya eager yang besar ya, semangat yang besar untuk membuktikan bahwa mereka mampu.
Sejauh ini kalau kita ngelihat penampilan pertama mereka ketika melawan tuan rumah, apa yang menjadi kekuatan dari Ecuador?
Ya, ambisi kelihatan ya. Strength mereka juga.
Argentina kemarin berambisi tapi kalah. Ya. Gimana?
Kalah strength.
Kalah strength, oke.
Dan kalau kita lihat juga Ecuador kemarin tidak di-compare dengan kemampuan terbaiknya Qatar. Sehingga mereka bisa lebih luasa mengembangkan permainan dan memenangkan pertandingan.
Oke, kalau ngomongin soal kita ke Belanda lagi. Belanda ini kan sudah 3 kali masuk final, 74, 78, 2010 ya kan. Tapi nggak pernah juara. Ya. Nah, kalau kita bicara peluang nih, 2022 ini Qatar. Apalagi rekor mereka bagus ketika datang ke Qatar kali ini.
Kalau dibandingkan dengan tim-tim Belanda yang sebelumnya, justru ini tim yang tidak bisa terlalu diharapkan ya. Karena banyak sekali pemain-pemain baru di sini, Teng. Dari sisi pengalaman dan juga atmosfer, para pemainnya juga banyak capnya yang masih minim. Tentu mereka bisa sampai semifinal saja itu sudah sebuah pencapaian yang bagus, Teng. Karena kalau dibanding dulu kan eranya Johan Cruyff, kemudian juga Robin van Persie, terus
seandainya 2010 waktu itu Wesley Sneijder bisa cetak gol ya, itu kan tidak ditepis sama Iker Casillas, itu situasi mungkin beda lain ya.
Itu sudah prestasi terbaik saya kira 2010 itu di era milenium.
Oke, tapi kan kalau ngelihat komposisi, saya paling suka tuh kalau lihat Belanda sekarang tuh ada poros tengah di mana Steven Berghuis dengan Frenkie de Jong ini kemarin terlepas dari penampilannya kurang meyakinkan, tapi dua pemain ini buat saya cukup baik sekali untuk tim nasional Belanda.
Terutama Frenkie ya, yang bermain sangat mobile, sangat dinamis, dan dia satu-satunya saya lihat bermain lebih fluid ya. Dibanding pemain-pemain yang lainnya sepertinya masih beradaptasi, karena memang Frenkie kan berada di tim ataupun di klub yang kuat juga ya.
Artinya kemungkinan tidak akan ada perubahan dari sisi line up untuk Belanda di match kali ini?
Saya kira tidak ya. Pasti Van Gaal ingin mempertahankan skuad pertamanya yang terbilang sukses, walaupun suksesnya agak dia juga mengkhawatirkan ya. Karena
kan clean sheet, ya kan?
Karena itu kali ini dia coba mematangkan skuad yang sudah dimulainya pada laga pertama kemarin.
Oke, kalau begitu tolong kasih saya prediksi Belanda menghadapi Ecuador.
Ya, saya cuma bisa bikin kemungkinan ya 60-40 lah buat Belanda.
Oke, terima kasih, dan saya juga ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada para sponsor yang telah mendukung acara ini. Ada Tokopedia, ada GoPay, Le Mineral, Extra Jos, Telkomsel, IndiHome, Hyundai, IM3, dan juga Indofood. Kalau begitu jangan lupa saksikan pertandingan antara Belanda menghadapi Ecuador sesaat lagi. Selamat menyaksikan.
Baru saja Anda menyaksikan
Ngapain kamu muncul? Yang nggak mau ketemu kan lu, bukan gua.
Kamu itu nggak mau mikirin nyokap yang bela-belain ke Jakarta demi kamu. Lawan gua, tak? Lawan gua!
Anda akan menyaksikan FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022.
WIB, promo di Tokopedia tiap tanggal 25 sampai akhir bulan. Cukup WIB aja, dapat banyak diskonnya.
Belanja apa aja, bebas ongkir sebebasnya. Selalu ada, selalu bisa di Tokopedia.
Le mineral itu beda.
Segernya. Le Mineral.
Dulu. Kemenangan di laga pembuka grup A membuat Belanda dan Ecuador memiliki peluang begitu besar untuk mengamankan tiket ke babak 16 besar. Sesaat lagi
Di babak kedua yang akan segera berlangsung, kita lihat para pemain dari kedua tim sudah memasuki Khalifa International Stadium untuk segera memulai pertandingan di babak kedua. Kita akan nantikan apakah Belanda yang akan merebut 3 poin sekaligus menyingkirkan tuan rumah Qatar atau justru Ecuador yang akan mampu membalikan kedudukan di sisa 45 menit di babak kedua. Kita akan temukan jawabannya di kick off pertandingan di babak kedua Belanda menghadapi Ecuador. Kami dari studio mengucapkan selamat menyaksikan.
This Estupinian's had 15 minutes or so to reflect on the goal he thought he had scored, almost with the last piece of action of the first half. But Estupinian's goal ruled out for an offside against that man there, Poroso, who had stepped into the eye line of the Dutch goalkeeper Andries Nobet. Wherever you are watching, we're so glad that you're with us, and I'm sure, like us, you're looking forward to an eventful second 45 minutes. And the Netherlands, as we stand, are that far away from taking their place in the round of 16. A win will do it, and if they draw, that will put Qatar out. Either a win for the Dutch or a draw will mean that Qatar, the hosts, will be out of the World Cup before their final match, which is against the Netherlands. Bergwijn, the man to depart. No changes for Ecuador from the 11 that they began with. The Netherlands record, scoring first in the World Cup. Before tonight, 12 times. They won 11 and lost none. Ecuador are winless in their last 4 World Cup games against European opposition. But there were certainly elements in that first half where there was enough to encourage both coaches.
Well, more than enough. Gustavo Alfaro, I don't think will be overly disappointed with the side's performance in the opening 45+ minutes. More shots, more attempts on goal, just the one on target.
Referee in close quarters, and he's given a free kick here. In fact, it's going to be, yeah, it was a referee couldn't get out of the way of that, so he's given possession back here to Ecuador.
Well, they can't outskill the Netherlands, but they can certainly outwork them in the areas that will tire the opponents out in the middle of the park. It's the obvious place to start. When you get control of that battleground, then it makes for a nervy remainder of the match for Van Dijk and company.
The Netherlands didn't, incidentally, have an attempt on the Ecuador goal after Gakpo put them in front in the 6th minute. From then on, Ecuador had 5 attempts and 1 on target from Enner Valencia. He's now waiting for some good delivery here from Estupinian. It's almost like a clearing header from Estrada.
Yeah, that says that the Dutch are happy to maintain the status quo. That should be catching practice, and is.
It needs to be in with more pace from Plata. It's a long time in the air there for Noppert to deal with.
And the angle was too steep. It's got to be a really world-class ball. But Depay's introduction certainly gives the Dutch more of a natural striker. Certainly not his, or wasn't his favourite role early on in his career. But that spell at Lyon, I think, turned him. I think he's certainly matured as a person, as his football certainly improved. Didn't always play the central role there for the French side, but Arnese's goal-scoring skills, I mean, his record at international level is fantastic, isn't it?
Indeed it is. Extra headache to contend with for Ecuador at the back.
Bergwijn likes to play more advanced, from a deeper position. He likes to run onto things, but Depay has learned to use his body well, not afraid to back into defenders, and will give the Dutch a focal point in which Klaassen and Gakpo can play off.
Just a slightly heavy touch there from Noppert.
Should have come towards the ball. Invited that pressure.
Here's Plata. Estupinian gets it on his favoured left side. It's a goal for Ecuador. No trouble at all for Valencia. And the Ecuador captain has now scored each of the last 6 goals for his nation in the World Cup.
The only question is, did he stay onside? Did Valencia hold his nerve? Must have been his heart telling him. A super hit from Pervis Estupinian, who's got a real cannon of a left foot. And the goalkeeper wasn't able to hold it, which I wasn't expecting, or pushing wide of the post. Now, this is where the trouble all started. As I said, the goalkeeper, Noppert, has got to come towards that ball. It's a casual play from Frenkie de Jong. They're out-hustled in the middle of the park. And there's no right back. Van Dijk has got his onside, clearly onside. Being played on by Nathan Ake. Van Dijk has got to get to the ball quickly. I mean, that's casual defending. Got to throw yourself as a challenge. The Dutch captain, I think, is almost as culpable as Frenkie de Jong, who has played a casual pass to a teammate.
Valencia, only the 4th player in World Cup history to score 6 successive goals for a nation, after Eusebio 66, Paolo Rossi 82 and Oleg Selenko for Russia in 1994. Well, what you can do in the early stages of the first half, we can reply in the second, say Ecuador. Blind. Klaassen to de Jong. Depay. Away by Torres. Well, he is Ecuador's all-time record goal scorer, and that is very healthy at the very highest level, isn't it?
Yeah, what a record. And so that was the only question as to whether he held himself onside. Ake really can't step up in that situation. He's got to be pessimistic as a defender and expect his goalkeeper, to spill it in a way. It was a tough one to deal with. I'm not going to blame the goalkeeper at all. Noppert absolutely did his best. It was really hit with venom. And once again, I go back to the Dutch captain not throwing himself at that football. If that deflects off him and over the goalkeeper, fair enough. But the Ecuadorians, finally, their fans have come to the party.
Netherlands corner. Okay, trying to climb to meet that. Clever back heel from Mendes. This is Estupinian.
tempo. That's the way to beat the Dutch. Hustle them out of their stride. So they won the ball back. So I thought they could rough them. I said it won't be skill that gets them back on level terms. Well, they could be, of course, but in terms of consistent penetration, and you have to do it through force, and they managed to do it.
Well, we mentioned the pace that Ecuador have got, a young team. They've got the tools to hustle Van Gaal's side. Miners. Well, the Dutch were expecting a corner there, but the assistant pointed his flag to signal a goal kick.
Lovely strike, wasn't it? Ball was stolen by Caicedo. And then there was a quick play, and the Dutch were caught out on that right side.
Really not much that Noppert could do there, because it was really well struck from Estupiñán.
He's a superb technician. He gets that dip on the ball as well. It's rare to see Estupiñán actually hit the ball, with great height. And low and hard into the ground. Any goalkeeper would have found that difficult to push that one away side of your goal.
Three teams in this Group A currently on 3 points after Senegal's opening win in the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022, 3-1 against the hosts earlier today. One of these two will be going to the top of the section.
Yeah, no doubt the Dutch will be happy with a draw tonight.
And the reason for that, of course, is that they, without being disrespectful to Qatar, it's a huge leap in the quality of opposition that the hosts are meeting at this World Cup, but they are lying in wait for the Netherlands next, which means Alfaro's Ecuador will be playing Senegal.
Yes, with all at stake, a place in the last 16.
For all the quality that they've got in their lineup, just over an hour now since the Netherlands' last attempt on target.
Well, scoring first and as early as they did can sometimes be detrimental to actually your game plan, because the players' mentality changes from hunters to hunted. And what we're witnessing now is that fascinating change in psychology of players and teams. When you score a goal, as Ecuador have now, they're somewhat satisfied with things. They'll probably take the foot off the accelerator. The Dutch now will feel as if they're back in control of the game, but will the knowledge that a draw is a good result for them allow them to sort of press forward at the cost of being exposed on the counter-attack?
We've got a yellow card for Jackson Mendes, the first booking of the game. Challenge on Memphis Depay.
Yellow card, number 20 for Ecuador, Jackson Mendes.
And it's a costly one for Mendes because he's out of the game against Senegal. So the industrious Mendes will not be a part of that Ecuador midfield in that vital final group match. There'll be plenty on the line against the CAF qualifiers.
And it's a careless one, isn't it? With Depay so far, they're pretty much on the halfway line. I said the Barcelona man is adept at protecting the football, putting his backside into opposing players. Just accept that he's not going to do anything special and let him play the ball.
well-respected Alfaro spent a lot of his coaching career with clubs in Argentina. But the Ecuador fans have really liked his stewardship since he took over just over a couple of years ago. They've looked to Brazil and Argentina and Colombia and Uruguay in the face, and they've been far from overawed. Preciado. And the tease Blind into a challenge. Not a bad ball in. And it drops for Plata. Oh, he's so unlucky. So close to a second goal for Ecuador. Gonzalo Plata. And he rendered Noppert, the goalkeeper, a mere spectator.
The dancing feet from Preciado on his near side. That's what you call a thunderbolt. Crossbar was shaking for a few moments. Look at that. Goalkeeper realises there's no point in me even fully committed to that. That one is once again travelling with real speed.
Daley Blind. Depay. This is Cope Miners.
How brave do Ecuador want to be? Do they really sense blood? They feel as if the Dutch are there for the taking. They may go for it. They've got a win will put them in a super strong position going into the last game.
Here's Klaassen.
Didn't see much wrong with that tackle. That's a foul. And Stupinian took ball and Gakpo. He was just trying to use his body to shield it away from Ecuadorian wing-back.
Well, this man, when he took over, discarded older players such as Antonio Valencia, Felipe Caicedo, Christian Noboa for younger blood. And he's getting the balance right. He's got his captain, Enner Valencia, and some other experienced players, but it's working. Stupinian, what an athlete he is. Constant menace when he makes those runs down the left flank.
And once again, a pretty good delivery. On the volley, I mean, this guy, the appreciation of what's required for a teammate, even on a run like that, was impressive. Nobody could keep up with him.
Preciado. It's a good challenge from Poroso. Sticking tight to Depay. Cope Miners. He and De Jong just trying to get control of that midfield area now. A little bit second best in this second half. Klaassen trying to poke it forward for the onrushing Depay. Van Dijk reading that well up against the thrust of Estrada. Here's Valencia. He's going to have to go it alone here. Tries to cut back, finds Estrada. Just couldn't get any purchase in the shot under pressure from Ake.
And that was a telling factor. Miss kick in the end, wasn't it, from Mikel Estrada? I guess Stupinian was taken out in the play. He wanted a free kick. If he played advantage, even if he thought it was a foul. This tempo certainly suits Ecuador right now. It's not all out attack. They've also been very clever and they've not been, bringing up that defensive line too high and allowing the Dutch to play, but seizing those opportunities. There we go, when it's not a perfect pass to steal the ball.
Well, since the Netherlands took the lead in the 6th minute, Ecuador have had the next 11 attempts of either team in the match, 3 of them on target. Not many teams, certainly since Van Gaal came back for a 3rd spell, have done that to his team. Not flattered by that Valencia equaliser. In no shape or form. It's almost as if the Dutch are looking to establish a different tempo to the match here now, just finding some time on the ball, settling themselves mentally.
It's their preferred one, isn't it? Patience. Slow, medium, but they do need a little bit of quick in their game, and Klaas has been denied that opportunity to get beyond the back line because there's been a big gap between the...
A good ball from Klaassen.
Tough, a little bit close. Just wasn't able to adjust his feet. Tim Cook minus. Yeah, they've allowed the gap between the middle of the park and the defensive line and said, well, if you're going to make that run, anybody from the Dutch midfield, it's going to be a long one, and we can see it coming a long way. Now, more condensed midfield and defensive line for Ecuador. Just that gives that little bit more chance for the Dutch to get through. Looking a little bit glum, aren't they, right now, the supporters of the Netherlands?
Yeah, there was a look of concern amongst the Dutch fans. They're not used to seeing their side not create the usual glut of chances. Drums are still beating, but not quite as loud and as rhythmically as earlier.
Almost under duress, it seems.
There was a considerable body of opinion when people were assessing Ecuador going into this World Cup. Kept coming up time and time again. It's a young squad. Is it going to be 2026 before they fully mature? But you almost get the feeling that we're here now, we're going to be competitive. Put anybody up against us, nobody's going to roll us over. Yes, okay. And again, wanted to be due respect to Qatar. It was a pretty comfortable opening group stage win. This is their first major challenge, and they're rising to it.
Yeah, win, lose or draw, they'll get a good idea of where they are as a nation, as a collective unit.
Still the controlled possession for both teams.
Will Louis van Gaal look to change things up? Talks about how Ecuador have got to decide whether to stick or twist and to try and win this game, take the pressure slightly off their last game against Senegal. And likewise to the Dutch, wouldn't leave things to chance.
Estrada looking for Plata.
The danger about thinking you've got the weakest in the group, the last of the group stage, that you take your eye off the ball for the remaining 20 or so minutes in this match, and the substitutions, they could could sometimes be attacking ones, but if the mindset is not quite there from the players on the field and the message doesn't come across from the coaching staff, then you will not get the right results. At this stage, it's more to do with what's in the mind as opposed to the legs. There's no extra time today.
Steven Berghuis is coming on for the Netherlands to replace Davy Klaassen. Straight swap in midfield. It was Klaassen who took Berghuis's starting place from the opening group match after scoring the man going off against Senegal. Berghuis, a favourite of Van Gaal's for his good left foot, plays for Ajax. Has a controlling presence, generally speaking, when he's out there in those midfield areas. Inventive.
Yeah, different type of player completely to David Klaassen. He's had more control on the football, and that's an area that they've been outworked in. He's not a worker in that regard, like Moses Caicedo or Edson Mendes. Another one who specialises in ball control and manipulation. So Van Gaal sticking to principles and looking to completely wrest control and perhaps tire Ecuador out in the middle of the park just by starving them of the football.
Minute in Doha, Group A of the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022. Cody Gakpo scoring for the Dutch. Enner Valencia for Ecuador. Both goals coming in the early minutes of each half. Sometimes it's the only way of stopping Pervis Estupiñán. Van Dijk. Berghuis. Ball out. Daley Blind's best attempts, but it was driven quickly at him by Berghuis. Ecuador going to turn to their bench for the first time in the game. That's Jeremy Sarmiento, one of three players from English Premier League club Brighton and Hove Albion in the Ecuador squad at this World Cup. Came off the bench in the opening group stage win against Qatar. Let's look again at the equaliser for Ecuador, set up by Estupiñán. High-tech, semi-automatic offside decisions used at this World Cup. Artificial intelligence, software to track players, and a special sensor in the ball aimed to speed up decisions. And he was clearly onside on the touch off the goalkeeper. And that sensor in the ball, by the way, is providing data at 500 frames per second, 10 times faster than current technology. Ball played through that Ecuador defence. Flag stays down, but eventually it's up.
Yeah, he's only 5 yards offside. He was almost embarrassed to actually follow through with that Cody Gakpo. He thought, well, okay, the flag's not gone up. I've not heard a whistle. Why not? Yeah, that's a good line of help.
Well, there has been an edict that when it's that clear, Ecuador would have liked possibly to have seen the flag a little earlier. It's not good for the old heart when we believe that the Dutch are going to have a chance to retake the lead. So here comes Sarmiento replacing Michael Estrada.
He nearly put his nation 2-1 up with a thunderous strike off the crossbar of Andries Noppert. It's Gonzalo Plata actually, and Plata had his service. Certainly put in a good shift with Estrada. Didn't quite get enough in and around the penalty box. Top scorer in qualifying for Ecuador, the man who's just left us. Sarmiento will play just off Enner Valencia. Find the gaps in between midfield and attack. I think the Dutch are getting a little bit frustrated here now, finding Ecuador hard to break down. Think tank having a little word between themselves. How are we going to go about it, boys? You know he's not sending Edgar on. He'd love to get on, of course. But yeah, he's barking out instructions to Memphis Depay. And perhaps he doesn't want to come in there too deep to receive the football. That's one way to stretch this Ecuadorian midfield.
Gonzalo Plata is now playing as the second striker alongside Valencia. Sarmiento's gone in to that left-sided attacking midfield role that Plata was deployed in earlier. Balance stays the same for Ecuador. Why would it change? Played really well in this second half.
Yeah, they're happy to keep that three in the middle of the park, aren't they? And allow the two, Sarmiento coming up alongside Plata, just supporting Enner Valencia. Confident in the fact that the two wide players can get back pretty quickly. Now they've switched to a back five. Preciado is covering any runs that Memphis Depay may make.
Mendes stole that well.
Barroso's put in quite a few timely challenges in his second half. Any sloppy touches or misplaced passes being seized upon by him.
If this game does end in a draw, it would mean the final two games in Group A would be everything riding on it to determine who will be in the top two places and advance to the round of 16. The winner of Group A will play the runner-up in Group B. And that is the England, Iran, Wales and USA group. Of course, the runner-up in Group A would play the winner of Group A. Only once have Ecuador been beyond the group stage. In their three previous appearances at the finals. It was back in 2006. Torres. Looking for Valencia. Estupinian. He's put himself right in the frame for player of the match. All action. But of course, the stage awaits a match winner. But from which side? Touches in the opposition box for Ecuador, just 6 for the Netherlands. There's that man, is Stupinian again. A whirling dervish, isn't he? Double substitution for the Netherlands. So Cody Gakpo is coming off to be replaced by Wout Weghorst and Toon Koopmeiners. He's making way as well, along with Gakpo and Weghorst and Martin de Roon are the players who bring fresh legs to the Dutch cause. I think we can expect at any given opportunity the Dutch putting some high balls into the Ecuador box for the arrival of Weghorst. May go a little more direct. Estupinian wins a corner. What a game he's had. Lost in admiration for his performance.
Yes, as much determination and graft, and also more craft than almost anybody on the football pitch, and a direct assist for the goal. Can take the goalkeeper out of it, can't we? Felt like Estupinian was the man who set up the equaliser.
And he will take the corner. Preciado just lurking outside the penalty area for anything that might come his way. And here he is. Well, that would have been right out of the top drawer if he'd put that into the back of the net.
In order to feed out Weghorst, the Dutch certainly have to get into the final third. It can't just be aimless balls in, or driving from 30-40 yards away. You know how to find it tough, not actually winning the first ball, but getting enough kind of quality to be able to serve his teammates. Torres and Porozzo in particular will make it difficult for him. Angle-wise, you get to 10 or so yards outside the box and then swing them anywhere in the box, because he actually attacks it pretty well. He's not someone who just hang around on the far post as about Weghorst. He runs across defenders pretty well. So he'll also get them at the near post if the delivery is good.
How do you feel Ecuador have played with this unfamiliar system, really? The three centre-backs. I suppose the obvious way of looking at it is it's being able to push Estupinian as a genuine left wing-back. Not that he doesn't get forward from an orthodox left-back position anyway, but they've been able to get him really high. And here he is again.
He's got the better of that contest, hasn't he, against Denzel Dumfries, I have to say, this evening. Yeah, I think they've managed it pretty well. And of course, you know, you've got two good athletes on either side of the three centre-halves. So for him, it's not much of a problem. You can, depending on just how much control you have in the middle of the park. And in truth, they didn't have much in the first half. So it was more of a defensive remit he had.
No, and I think you talk about control in the middle of the park. You know, we've seen very little of Frankie de Jong, who was getting on the ball in the opening 20 minutes a lot for the Dutch, but been on the periphery since.
You don't need too much possession. You just have to have quality and real determination when you have it, and that's been shown by the number of thrusts in and around the Dutch midfield. Ball steals, I'm sure we'll get a stat on that later in the game, and we did after. And of course, getting behind those Dutch defensive lines, that's what it's all about.
And that's going to run out of play harmlessly, as far as Ecuador are concerned.
Any time as an opposing player you're running back towards your own goal, it's trouble.
Antonio Valencia, seasoned former Ecuadorian international. Adrenaline's pumping there. Wondering what might yet be to come. There's Enner Valencia. No relation, by the way. Been in good form as the top scorer in Turkey at the moment with Fenerbahce.
Yeah. He's not a pure goal scorer. He's very much a top-class shadow striker, as the Dutch like to call them in their country. He's a guy who will certainly get you a decent amount of goals, but the work rate is there, the quality, the appreciation, understanding of another striker alongside him.
38 goals in 76 caps. It's not entirely shabby, is it?
It's better than that. It's outstanding. It's a new role for him, actually, being, you know, in recent years, been a central striker, but I think he's thrived on it. Sometimes adapted wide players, as they get older, they appreciate the role of a frontline striker.
Ball given away for Mendes. Estupinian. This time he can't get the better of Dumfries. '85th minute. It's Nathan Ake for the Netherlands. Caicedo with a clumsy challenge.
Lucky to escape without a yellow card. Mustafa Gorbal has been very generous there.
Well, this scoreline is not good news for the hosts, because if this match does end in a draw, Qatar are out. The first team, the hosts, will be out of the World Cup tonight. Depay and Berghuis. Depay walks away. It'll be Berghouse's left foot. There's nowhere near enough height on that.
Well, you're best off overhitting that set piece. Much less likely you'd be caught on the counter-attack. Those shallow deliveries from there are dangerous for you as an attacking side. All of a sudden you're on the back foot.
Nathan Ake. Ecuador with a player down.
Valencia, the captain. I didn't see what happened.
Well, remember, he injured his knee in the opening group stage match. That win over Qatar, but we're playing on at the moment. It's not a head injury. Referee doesn't have to stop the game, of course. I'm sure Galindez will get this out of play. The referee may stop it before the goalkeeper releases.
The Dutch players haven't done anything wrong. And that's his teammates are not happy.
Alfaro having something to say to our fourth official down there from Honduras, Said Martinez. One or two of the players having a disagreement.
It looks like it's his knee that's been attended to.
Remember, we saw him with an ice pack around his knee, Enner Valencia, when he picked up that injury in that game against Qatar. So, two new faces will be on in a moment for Ecuador, as you saw there. Romario Ibarra, who started the game against Qatar. And the other man coming on, Kevin Rodriguez, who also came off the bench in that game. He's had a remarkable rise lately, Rodriguez. He plays in the second tier in Ecuador. Now a World Cup player. It's something of a story for him. It will be only his third cap. And Ibarra plays in Mexico with Pachuca. 4 appearances in qualifying for the striker. will be the replacement, one suspects, for the stricken Valencia. Well, what a start it was for the Netherlands. The quickest goal in the World Cup so far. Brilliant strike from Cody Gakpo.
Yeah, that one almost starts outside the post, doesn't it? As I said, it wasn't too much angle on it. It had to be a pure strike. And very little curl, and he got it absolutely spot on, giving Galindez no chance. That's a measured strike with power, isn't it? From Pervis Estupinian. And the goalkeeper is not able to push it wide. It took a wicked bounce just before him. It's close to his body, and Valencia snaps up the pieces.
Well, this is a worry for coach Alfaro, with the captain being taken off on a stretcher, with the match looming against Senegal. It's going to be a crucial one, and will he be fit?
Yeah, not a good look at all, is it?
The leading scorer in this World Cup, and they adore him. 3 goals here in Qatar for Enner Valencia. And there's going to be an anxious wait to see how serious that particular ailment is. Ibarra is the striker replacement for Valencia. And Gonzalo Plata made way for Kevin Rodriguez.